been looking at the Indian season thus far, and actually if you kind of look at the numbers and things, they should be worse off than they are. Right now they're a couple games over 500. Thankfully they're in the Central Division, which isn't all that good, but you know, here we are. I did some research on this thing here. By the way, it's an old-fashioned reporter's pad. I still take, when I say scribbles in my notebook, here's a notebook, I scribble. First of all, the Indians last year were number 2 in runs scored. If it feels like they're not scoring runs this year, you're right, they're not scoring runs. They're 10th in runs scored. In fact, you could see how they've been struggling on who to put in the lineup. You know, they brought Yandy Diaz back. I hope if you're going to have him around, at least play him 3 or 4 times a week. You know, they need to just figure some things out. Frankly, they need to get Encarnacion to get hot, and he just hasn't been doing too much. There's also been some stats I'm looking at, because they say that the people that study swings and pass the balls and everything, Jose Ramirez has gotten pull happy lately, which is what I kind of thought watching the games a little bit. You know, last year he was so good at hitting the ball to right center or left center, those doubles and his head, the helmet flying off. He needs to get back to that more of a swing where you go right up the middle with the ball. So Encarnacion simply needs to start hitting, and also Jose needs to hit the ball to different fields, not just try to pull it. A bunch of other guys. Kipnis finally this weekend showed some life at the bat. The amazing one to me is that Michael Brantley. He's just a 300 hitter when he's healthy. Here's the shocking thing. There are 15 teams in the American League, and you know what? The Indians' starting pitching ranks 15th. 15 out of 15, dead last. I never would have guessed that. I realize we're not even at the quarter pole of the season, approaching it, which is 41 games, but still. And that's why I was saying, well, okay, who's the guilty party? So, well, Carrasco, Carlos is excused from this. He's pitched extremely well all year. Actually, Josh Tomlin, his first 2 starts, they gave up 13 runs. His last 5 starts, Josh's ERA is like 3.2. He's pitched very well. You know, Corey Kluber's on the disabled list. He had an ERA over 5. And I'm concerned about this. They say they think it's fine, you know, the back thing's coming around. I wrote about this a little bit in my Sunday notes. You know, over the last 2 seasons, he's thrown over 480 innings combined. And actually, another guy like that is Arrieta from the Cubs. And Arrieta from the Cubs, while not on a disabled list, they say his velocity is down. He's been really struggling. I just think sometimes when these guys pitch so many games and so many innings, especially with the postseason, their bodies tend to feel it. If you look at Justin Verlander's career, sometimes you would see, not that he spent a lot of time on the disabled list, but some years were better than others. Verlander is a little bit like Kluber, throws a lot of pitches a lot of games, complete games, and I just think some years their arms are feeling stronger than others. But then you get to the other 2. Trevor Bauer finally on Sunday turned in a decent performance. You know, the Indians do need Bauer. By the way, fans, don't send me emails about sending Bauer to the minors. They can't do it. You put him on waivers, he's going to get claimed, another team's going to get him, then he's going to start winning 10 games for somebody else, and you're going to say, why are the Indians so dumb to do that? No, if Bauer continues to struggle, you do what they did with Carlos Carrasco in the past, even last August, what they did with Josh Tomlin. You put him in the bullpen. You let him get squared away there. And then finally, the guy who frankly drives me nuts because he has great stuff, but I don't know what he's going to do from game to game. It's not just Bauer. Danny Salazar. I don't even know what to say about Danny Salazar. How about throwing your fastball for strikes and just kind of pull it together? I mean, Salazar's ERA is 5.2. Bauer's ERA is 6.9. You know, basically 4 of their 5 starters have ERAs over 5. So that's a big thing they need to do. And frankly, what's carried the team so far, they have the best bullpen in all of baseball, a 1.84 ERA. Thank goodness Chris Antonetti made that Andrew Miller trade, because that just raised that whole bullpen to a different level. Now, given all that, you look at the fact the Indians right near first place, a couple games over 500. They seem to be just sort of sputtering along. They're really in good shape for the rest of the season if they start to play like they're supposed to.